Welcome back for another helping of oysters, clams, and cockles presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin here with Barrett Dudley. Got a lot of talk to talk about today, Barrett. A lot to talk about.
We have a lot of talk to talk about?
A lot of talk to do.
What's the talk out there? What's the talk out there that we got to talk about?
I don't know. What's on your mind?
Well, it's I have to imagine that most of the talk is it's about luncheon. Is it about luncheon?
For God's sake. Dogs are in the studio barking.
They rarely do that.
Yeah, we've got a plumber in the house, so they're upset.
Oh, they can smell the new scent.
They smell a stranger.
They smell a stranger.
Stranger danger.
That that's big for me after I don't know how many years of coming over to the studio to do this podcast. I guess I am no longer persona non grata to these dogs.
You are not.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
They're familiar with your stench.
They're familiar with my with my sweet stench.
Hopefully there's not too much banging around, but the bathroom closest to us is having the toilet repaired as we speak. Just the way the cookie crumbled.
It sounded like you were on Circling Back's live podcast this morning.
I was,
and it sounded like maybe somebody took a Mondo dump in this toilet. That's why it blew out and is having to be repaired.
No, that's a false rumor.
Oh, okay.
It was a water pressure issue that I won't bore you with today. But yeah, we've got a plumber in the next room over. Hopefully there won't be too much banging around. Hopefully the dogs will chill out here. Looks like that's starting to happen. But if you hear barking, that's Bruce and Bella. And we apologize for that. Maybe it brings a little something extra to the show today.
Speaking of, where's Pumpkin been at season 3? Not a pumpkin sighting yet. You know, the little King Charles Cavalier Spaniel that
on the Gilded Age.
Yeah, that Aunt Ada has. No pumpkin this season so far.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about that dog.
Now you are much further ahead. I believe you finished the season. I am only 3 episodes in thus far, 3 out of 8. But for me, no pumpkin yet. You know, typically Marion is walking Pumpkin at least once per season. So
I'm a little worried about Pumpkin.
I'm a little worried about Pumpkin as well. Yeah,
I don't think Pumpkin shows back up, Barrett.
Pumpkin may have been swept under the rug, potentially a budget cut. You know, because you got to have the dog handler on set as well.
Yeah,
I would imagine
it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Got to get the dog to cooperate.
Yeah. So maybe they might have lost their Pumpkin budget.
Well, hopefully that Cavalier King Charles Spaniel is still out there somewhere. Doing a quick Google. Oh, there's a Reddit thread
roaming the streets.
There's a Reddit thread from 1 year ago that says, "What happened to Pumpkin?"
Pumpkin's in season 2.
Huh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well. Yeah, let's start by saying...
What's on your mind today, Ross?
Well, we're covering The Wire.
Yeah.
Season 1. We're 3 episodes deep. We did Season 1, Episode 3 of The Wire, which is exclusively on Patreon this Monday. We're doing those shows on Monday.
Yep.
Wire shows. It is friendly to first-timers and rewatchers. This is Barrett's first time through The Wire. It is my 4th or 5th, but it's been many, many years. It's been long enough for me where I don't remember major plot lines. Let me put it that way.
Right.
We're having a lot of fun so far. If you have never watched The Wire, it is absolutely must-watch TV for you at some point in your life. What better time to jump on the train with us than now?
Yeah, and let me just say, you can do this. We're giving it out to you at a weekly pace. You can watch one episode of a show per week, and it's a great way to catch up on an all-time classic. And if I can do it with a 9-week-old at home, you can also definitely do it. Fit it in. Don't worry. You're gonna be able to watch your Alien Earths and your Tasks and your whatever else you got out there. Just 1 hour per week that you need to tune in to the old Fire Up the Wire on the HBO Max app and then listen to our podcast. I don't know what the numbies are looking like over there. I haven't tuned into that, but the people that are writing,
they're enjoying.
Much like Kramer on Seinfeld, they are loving every minute of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been good stuff so far. It's actually been really difficult to just watch the one episode we're covering weekly,
very tough,
and not move on to the next one, especially because season 1 is a bit of a slow burn, kind of draws you in week by week, and you want to know what's going to happen next. So yeah, The Wire coverage, season 1, over on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles exclusively. Join the Clam Fam if you just want the audio of those shows every week. Join the Mollusk Militia tier on Patreon if you want to be able to watch the video or gain access to our hotline number and the Discord server as well. Those are all Mollusk Militia exclusive perks. And we will be doing one hotline call-based episode a month to further discuss and digest The Wire with some guidance and questions and such from our listenership. So that's our first thing to take care of today. The Wire Season 1 over on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. Go get in there. Of course, when you join on Patreon, you gain access to our entire backlog. Just an absurd amount of content at this point since we've been doing it for 5 years on Patreon. Our whole Sopranos podcast is housed there. All of our hotline call bonus episodes for all the different episodic coverage we do on our pod. And some movie club as well. Tons of good stuff. Go check it out. Patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. So you mentioned Task.
Yeah.
Which you've been bringing up to me.
I've brought it
for
up
a couple months.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sort of on and off. And I honestly couldn't even put like a vibe to what you were saying. I had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, I know.
But they dropped the full-length trailer this week, and I finally watched it. And the only thing I knew that you had mentioned was that it's from Brad Inglesby, who's the dude who did Mayor of Easttown, which we very much enjoyed on HBO, which is fantastic. So Task is created and written by Brad Inglesby, and that was all I knew.
Yeah.
Now, after watching the trailer yesterday, I am on board the hype train with you because, first of all, I didn't know it starred Mark Ruffalo, who's awesome in pretty much everything he does.
You're a big fan of him as the Hulk, I believe.
Except for that. I do not care about that at all. Just not a fucking superhero guy. But big fan of Mark Ruffalo. Kristen Cole is a member of the task force that Ruffalo is, I believe, the head of.
In charge of, right?
And the gist of it that I'm able to take away from the trailer...
Fabian Frankel.
That's his real name.
Yeah.
Fabian Frankel. The gist of what I was able to take away from the trailer is that this is in some kind of small town. Mm-hmm. Seems like Inglesby.
I think it's still in Philly. I think it's in the Philly suburbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a biker gang issue.
Right.
That's what it seems like. Got some very Sons of Anarchy vibes out of this for sure. Darker, but similar. And I think there's like two biker gangs maybe at odds with each other.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of breaking and entering that's happening, that they're putting a task force together, hence the name Task, to deal with. And the main biker, as far as I can tell, is played by Tom Pelphrey, looks like his name is Robbie. Seems like he's the main biker anyway, the main biker character on the show. He, oddly enough, looks a lot like Bolin Media's Jared Borislow, who hosts our F1 show, Formula Bone.
Okay, all right.
Great trailer.
Isn't he kind of that guy? Don't you know him? Like, do we recognize him
Pelphrey?
from stuff?
Yeah, I don't know what he's in. I guess I could do a...
What's his name?
Tom Pelphrey.
Tom Pelphrey.
Oh, he was in Ozark. He's the brother in Ozark who suffers from some mental health issues.
Okay.
That's the thing I recognize him from most.
He does bear a resemblance to one Jared Boris.
He does. He was also in Love and Death, which was another HBO thing. HBO family, man. Once you're in there for life.
Yep.
As is also evidenced by Fabian Frankel. Has Ruffalo done any HBO stuff?
Yes.
Oh, what was the name of that show?
I think it was a movie, right?
Yeah.
There was a movie...
Oh, damn it. If you Google Mark Ruffalo HBO, it just gives you all task results.
He's definitely been in I think he was in an HBO movie.
Okay.
All the Light We Cannot See. Why do I want to say... I want to say Light was in the title.
All the Light We Cannot See. We'll just go with that. The Normal Heart.
The Normal Heart.
Yeah.
That's right? Is that the one?
And then I Know This Much Is True was a limited series in 2020, which was, according to the AI overview on Google, which could be very wrong, was also something Mark Ruffalo was featured in, and now Task.
Okay.
So I'm in on this. It definitely has the very Mayor of Easttown vibes where, there's not going to be a lot of happiness in this. Bright pick-me-up moments are going to be fewer and further between. It looks kind of heavy, but I'm into it. I'm curious how it will be having it comes out September 7th. So that's like a little under a month from now.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious how this will fit. I mean, it's obviously like a crime drama.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be doing The Wire and then also watching Task.
Right.
There's just going to be a lot of crime. In our
a lot of crime and a lot of people trying to stop crime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cops and bad guys, and sometimes those two categories overlap.
That's right.
In the old Venn diagram.
That is exactly
That's what you find out.
That's what you find out.
That's what you find out.
I imagine that'll be a nice little. I feel like that's going to be very simpatico to be having those two shows running for us at the same time.
Oh sure, hun. Also, Pink Floyd's "Wish You Were Here" in the trailer. Love that. It really appeals to me. I don't know what Pink Floyd fans call themselves. Like, they've got Deadheads.
Right.
Do Pink Floyd Pinkies?
I think Deadheads is like the only one out there that gets like a name like that.
Well, I love Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
I'm whatever that version is for
You're
them.
a pinky.
Yeah. A pinky. So stoked for that. Stoked for Task.
Like if you love the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, I don't think you get a nickname for that.
Looks like one of the options is Floydians, but that sounds terrible. Let's go with Pinkies.
Yeah.
Pinkies. So yeah, excited for Task. You've got me on board, Barrett. Drawn me in. And then the only other thing I wanted to touch on up top is Zach Kreger's Weapons, which hit theaters on Thursday or Friday last week.
Mm-hmm.
Doing very well. Kreger did Barbarian.
Right. Which you've talked about before as a horror movie that you quite liked, right?
I enjoyed it. Yeah. It definitely is very I have to assume compared to Weapons, Barbarian was very indie feeling. Because, oh god damn it. Now the plumber's going at it. Hopefully y'all can't hear any of this. But this is a big budget movie that had a massive bidding war leading up to it, which Jordan Peele and his production company lost.
Yeah, the rumors, which I frankly didn't really ever look into. I just heard it and I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'll run with that.
Yeah.
Was that Jordan Peele wanted this movie. He really, really wanted like the rights or the whatever it was to this movie. And he lost the bidding war for one reason or another and ended up firing like his entire team because of it, because he was so upset by that he did not get a hold of this. It was buzzy from the beginning. The very first teaser trailer like definitely had people on pins and needles. Horror is having, just what amounts to a real renaissance.
It's a resurgence
over the last few years. Like it's been pretty fascinating to watch seemingly every single horror movie that comes out do pretty well at the box office. And then you have movies like Weapons, which are certified smash hits. But this is on the backs of movies like Longlegs and
Sinners you could throw in there, yeah.
Sinners, yeah. And it seems like there are at least a few of these every single year that people are clearly showing up for. And I think it's there's franchise, there's IP stuff in the horror world too, right? Like I just watched the trailer last night for not on purpose, it was just like on YouTube TV on something. It was like The Conjuring Last Rites. You know what I mean?
No, they're still going with that, huh?
They're doing sequels on Annabelle and Conjuring and Megan 2.0 and whatever else, but like horror seems to be a place where you can come do original novel ideas. Like, hey, this is what I want to do. Barbarian, Longlegs,
Megan is a good example. What a fucking random idea.
Right. So and so it's a playground for creativity and people are showing up for the movies. On the other side of the coin, Fantastic Four had like a pretty good first weekend and then has just been falling off of a cliff every single weekend since. So you're really, really, really starting to see the fatigue with superhero movies, I think.
I would hope so.
And meanwhile, like people cannot get enough of this, of these creative horror films. So like, I do feel like there is for me, I'm going to take a glimmer of hope from this, that studios are recognizing that it's not just horror. It's that people will, it's two things. It's one, people want to see buzzy, hyped, creative movies. And then there are creators like, at the very top of the list, it's Denis Villeneuve and Chris Nolan, but then guys like Zach Kreger and even Coogler, who probably belongs more in the Christopher Nolan tier of things, but like directors are stars again, right?
Oh, definitely.
Like you can give these guys carte blanche to do what they want, and people will show up. People will show up almost more than like stars at the moment.
I completely agree. It's no longer just having A-listers in your shit to get. That's the big change. The big shift for me in Hollywood. You know, there's a lot of minutia to it, but I am much more interested in directors than I am stars.
Stars, right.
Like just because, you know, Matt Damon is in something or even Timothée Chalamet.
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm going.
Yeah.
But if it's directed by Villeneuve or Christopher Nolan or Coogler or one of these other, you know, it's probably 5 guys in this box that are like the top tier directors, then I'm going.
Yeah, and I mean the combo is great when you get Chalamet and Denny on Dune or Matt Damon and Christopher Nolan in The Odyssey, but like you're exactly right. Nolan could have cast some dude off the street.
Wouldn't have made a difference
in The Odyssey, and like I would be there as soon as I could be when that comes out in theaters.
Yeah. Also, you got to give props to the horror community. Like those people show up.
They do. They show up
for this stuff, and because of typically horror is lower budget, doesn't cost $200 million.
Right.
So it's easier to be profitable.
Yeah. Speaking of the Jordan Peele of it all on weapons, I feel like what it seems like he pivoted towards was this movie that also just had a trailer drop called Him.
Oh yeah,
which I encouraged you and everybody in our group text to watch,
and I did.
If you have not watched the trailer for Him, I highly recommend going to see that as well, because I think that's going to be. I expect that to be another in this line of movies that is not even really a surprise hit at this point. I think that will do very well at the box office. That's not directed by Peele, but he produced it. It has kind of Marlon Wayans as in kind of a comeback performance of sorts as a enigmatic football goat, let's say.
Yeah.
And a
quarterback.
And a quarterback, a quarterback goat. That the movie that it reminds me the most of is Ex Machina. That's kind of the
vibe, yeah.
The vibe, and also the plot is like young phenom wonderkin of sorts goes out to visit enigmatic,
well-known
superstar-ish at his obscenely lavish but also clandestine property.
And then things get
weird. Yeah. So
in the trailer, very weird. That was the one thing. One of our buddies was like, I feel like I just watched the whole movie. I was like, they do have they did put a lot in here.
Yeah.
But you were very interested in this one.
Because it's, I don't know, like the football of it all is really interesting. And they're clearly going to be playing with some CTE and some concussion stuff.
Yeah.
In it, which is kind of an interesting wrinkle.
And they're just not giving us much in the way of like a synopsis. It says terror strikes when a promising young football player gets invited to train at a team's isolated compound.
Okay.
I say that to say I don't really know what the movie is going to be trying to do or say.
Look, we had conversation on this podcast a few years ago now about The Last Dance. And one of the things that I find so interesting about that conversation and where we took it as you know, in general is like, what does it take to be absolutely elite, the GOAT, the best of all time at something?
Yeah.
And we talked about guys like Jordan and Tiger Woods and
Brady.
And what they are willing to sacrifice and set aside at the expense, to further, what they're willing to give up to further their career, basically.
Right.
And what type of insane decision making they're willing to go through.
Yeah, you have to be a bit of a psycho.
And it seems like that's another layer that this movie is going to play with.
Oh yeah, good point.
And so I do find that interesting.
Yeah, there's a line in the trailer where he's like, "You have to sacrifice everything," or something like that.
Other like how bad do you want it? All that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
that should be fun. It looks like Jordan Peele. It seems like he's not really talking about what happened after he lost the bidding for weapons.
Okay.
But New Line Cinema, which is a subsidiary of Warner Brothers, won the bid, $38 million. Wow. Which was $7 million more than Peele offered on behalf of his production company, Monkey Paw Productions. This is from slashfilm.com.
Are you going to get to see Weapons?
I'm going to see it. I don't know when.
Okay.
Because this is not there's no way.
Yeah, you're not going to sell Lexi.
Is going on. There's no way.
Yeah.
0.0% chance I could get away with bringing her to this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm going to do there.
Okay.
Yet. What about you?
I mean, like, we need to sell it as we have to go see it so that we can talk about it on the podcast, and that way I maybe would be allowed to bro date this with you.
Well, give me a date and I'll try to make it happen, man.
Okay, all right.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see it in theaters. It seemed like one of the things I heard that I did not at all get from the trailer is that it is also very funny and does a fantastic job of blending genres.
Okay.
Which the trailer is straight horror mystery.
I know very, very little about this. I've avoided everything I possibly can, but I've heard, like, from people that have seen it already, that it is not as scary as you think it's going to be.
Yeah, that tends to be the case these days.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's good for kind of a horror light fan such as myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't...
This was how, dude, when Longlegs came out, they marketed it as one of these movies where they're like, you're going to puke.
In the theater,
People are passing out, going into cardiac arrest. You may never recover from seeing this film. And I watched
They're committing the coup in the theater.
Right. And I was like, this was not... Like, there are very creepy moments, don't get me wrong, but that is not even close to one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Right. It was very confusing to actually watch it versus the marketing behind it. So it's not shocking to me that Weapons is less scary than the trailer would lead you to believe.
Yeah.
But yeah. Some good stuff coming. Alien Earth premiered yesterday.
Last night. Yep.
I've seen some tweets so far, people DMing us and shit. Saying that they really enjoyed it. Who is behind it? Who is the...
It's Noah Hawley, who did the TV Fargo seasons.
Oh, that's very interesting.
And he's kind of like an FX guy, right? Like, he did Legion for them, a decade ago, and then took that into 5 seasons of Fargo, and now this is kind of his next thing for them.
Okay.
And he's sort of, this has almost become his MO, right? Is that they like giving him projects where it's like, hey, here's the thing. What's your spin on it?
Revitalize this.
Yeah, what's your take on it? And he kind of gets to play in the sandbox without a lot of strings attached, it seems.
Yeah.
Kind of gets to,
Well, Fargo's had unbelievably good seasons. Mm-hmm. 1 or 2 that was a little more meh.
Yep.
But I will tune in for Alien Earth at some point in the next few days.
I really want to check this out as well. Speaking of things that are hard to sell our wives on.
Yeah, I'll have to watch this alone.
Do you know I think the one thing that Laura has never forgiven me for as far as like what I've taken her to and made her watch.
Oh man, I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's Event Horizon.
Yeah. Well, because there's a blood orgy.
There's a blood orgy.
It's tough to get past that. And to be fair, neither of us knew that was happening.
They descend to the depths of space to enter a portal to hell. Like, it's pretty gnarly.
God, that movie was weird, man. That's in Movie Club on Patreon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, if you want to hear our Movie Club on Event Horizon, that is also in the Patreon bank, man.
Yeah, so I'll be flying solo for Alien Earth as well.
So Alien, like, it gets like, I've put on Prometheus before, and she's like, I don't want to watch this. And I'm like, come on, it's Prometheus.
Babe, it's great.
It's about the origins of life.
Yeah, that one is super easy, too. Prometheus, compared to, like, one of the Alien films.
Right.
It doesn't get real spooky and scary until the last, like, half hour there,
So we'll see. I might try to, sneak one past, but...
Unlikely.
But it feels unlikely. And I do really want to check that out, just to see what Noah is doing with it, Is he going more like xenomorph slasher type stuff, or is he going a little bit more with the,
psychological side of it?
Who are we?
Oh, yeah.
Guess we have a lot to ponder.
We will, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but I'll be tuning in for episode 1 of that. All right, let's talk Gilded Age, but first, summer is here, more sun, more light, more time to do all the things that make summer so special. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer, spending hours cooking inside. That's where today's sponsor, Factor, comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor makes Their meals arrive fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle over summer and beyond. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. Choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. Factor powers your day, sun up to sundown, with nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. Factor has your whole day covered. I've been eating Factor for years now, and I love it. If you're like me, there's some days you get home from work or school or whatever, you just want to be able to plop down on the couch and enjoy the next episode of your favorite TV show without having to worry about what's for dinner. Factor takes this dream and makes it a reality with the best meals delivered straight to your door. So many good options, so much good food, great smoothies and juices as well. Enjoy more this summer. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. Get started at factormeals.com/OCC50off and use code OCC50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code OCC50off at factormeals.com/OCC50off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/OCC50off. So Gilded Age season 3 finale aired this past Sunday. Did not have any idea going into this that it was the season finale. It occurred to me about 20 minutes into the episode. I was like, I think this might be the last one.
I saw on my app that the episode that came out this Sunday was 8, and I was like, shit, that might actually be the last one.
And season 1 had 9.
Season 1 had 9. Season 2, I believe,
had 8.
So
and then 3 also has 8.
This is the new number for them, as these networks like to do. They like to trim the episode so they get more money per episode and can go a little bit bigger on set dressing and budget basically per episode, which, I again, to talk about the project that we're doing over on Patreon, like, I don't necessarily need 13 episodes per season, but with a show like The Gilded Age, where I just, like, Ross, I simply cannot get enough. You know what I mean? Like, I just love this show. I love hanging out with these characters. Just plop me down in the drawing room with Aunt Ada and Aunt Agnes, and, like, let them cook, baby. Let them go. Just let them bicker, and I'm a happy camper. So I kind of wish it was a 10. I wish it was a kind of a classic tenor.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Okay, well, first of all, the other big news is that it got renewed for season 4.
Right.
Viewership has been fantastic.
Yes.
Word
of mouth seems to be really, really picking this show up.
Very much so.
The numbers are growing week by week.
There's a lot of people in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
Where, like, basically when season 3 started up, they were like, oh, yeah, that show. And more people started talking about it. They're like, okay, I'll go back to season 1 and catch up on this. So season 4 will be a thing.
Yep.
I'll say this about our conversation around the episode number. The finale of season 3, you feel it. You're like, oh, wow, they just crunched a whole... This stuff should have played out over 2 episodes or 3.
Yeah, okay.
And you feel that speed a little bit. I can't tell you why.
Right.
But suffice it to say, some of the big events in the season 3 finale feel very abrupt, where you're just like, wait, what? We did... Wow. Because the rest of the show is a pretty slow burn. Like it's chill. It's calm. It's not in a rush.
Yep.
It develops these 3 or 4 storylines each season within the major characters.
That's right.
And it takes them step by step, episode by episode. You never feel like something is just dropped on your lap. But in the finale, you feel that multiple times in multiple storylines.
Yeah, I got a push notification that, thank goodness was spoiler free, but it was basically like, Carrie Coon dishes on that big finale. And so like in the first 2, which we'll get to here in just a second, like, they're fine. They're good finales, but it's not like they're not massive bombshells. They kind of end the story that they've been getting to. You know what I mean? We obviously love this show. I'm going to do my absolute damnedest to crush 4 through 8 over the course of the next week so that we can talk about the season as a whole. But I do want to be able to do some spoilers for seasons 1 and 2. So if you're not watching The Gilded Age, we love it. We encourage you to watch it, get caught up, come back to these podcasts. But I'm gonna go spoilers from here on.
It's spoiler time for The Gilded Age seasons 1 and 2.
Time. I am through 3 on season 3, and so the first thing that I want to talk about, we had a little off mic convo about this, but I did not realize until a few weeks ago that the Russells are based on the Vanderbilt family.
Right.
Some members of the Vanderbilt family.
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
That's the inspiration.
That's the inspiration. And we've got real people on the show. The Nathan Lane character, whose name is slipping my mind, was a real person that was actually the Astors were a real family that, and those two parties combined did create the 400, which was the essentially the list of the people that mattered in New York society. That number was based off of the capacity of Mrs. Astor's ballroom.
Wow. Ward McAllister.
Ward McAllister, yeah.
The character's name.
They could host 400 in their ballroom, and therefore the 400 was born. If you were not on that list, if you were not invited to the party, you no longer mattered in society.
You were not part of society.
You were not part of society.
Which is crazy.
The guys that Mr. George Russell are meeting with, Jay something or other, and then early in the season we get a little Bill Camp cameo as J.P. Morgan.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I believe.
Love Bill Camp.
I expect him to show back up in the back half of the season. So we're dealing with real people and real entities. The Russells, I think you may have mentioned that they didn't want to get into any kind of legal issues, legal trouble with just naming them.
Well, there
Vanderbilt.
are surviving members of the Vanderbilt family. Yeah,
we kind of saw a little bit of that play out on Winning Time with the depiction of Jerry West.
Rest in peace. He has since passed away.
Yeah. Where they were not happy with how
he was portrayed.
He was portrayed. So there could have been something like that. And then I think I appreciate it though, because I think it's just a smart move to have your kind of essentially your two main families, which I would say are the Russells and then the Van Ryns / Marion.
Definitely.
Be people that didn't actually exist, because then you have license to kind of do whatever you want with them and kind of bend the truth or pick and choose what stories you want to tell, combine them, all that type of stuff.
Totally agree.
But
I don't want to just be able to Google
the
Russell family history and then get the whole show.
Yeah.
You know.
But all that to say, this storyline with Gladys Russell being married off to a duke is based in some real history.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this was one of the Vanderbilt daughters. I believe that this storyline is tracks pretty much with history. So
that's wild.
Yeah, I've got an idea of the decision that she'll make and what happens here, but not positive. Again, because they could do whatever they want here since they didn't name them Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
But I do think that's an interesting piece of the puzzle that they are it's like Carnegie's, Rockefeller's, Vanderbilt's. Like those are the names that people know from this era of robber barons, right?
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite things about the show is that aside from all these individual stories that you're getting with all these fantastic, very fleshed out characters, it feels like what you're watching actually is important because of the historical context.
Yeah.
And even if it's not the same family names or the exact events or a documentary style thing, it is showing you basically like the transition of power from the old world of Europe and the UK and the way they did things and the Downton Abbey of it all, and like the Americanized version of that, and the old money, new money struggle, and the biggest difference in the Gilded Age versus Downton Abbey, like that they highlight more in season 3 than ever before, is like there's upward mobility in American society.
Yeah.
Whereas the class system in the old world was you stay where you're born in what you're born into, right? And that was sort of the original sales pitch of America. That you could come here and the American dream was that you could make your own life, whatever it was you wanted.
Yeah.
Right? Now, of course, varies
to varying degrees, right?
century by century as to who that actually applied to.
Correct, yep.
And continues to vary to this day. But that was the pitch for America. Like, it's a place where you can make your own opportunity and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and go from broke with nothing to one of the most powerful men in the world or whatever, right? And the Gilded Age gets into all that and plays with all that some too. And in general, it's like the current day iteration of this is like the tech billionaires, the people that have all this power and are clearly outside of politicians, the main decision makers in our country. They're the ones that put all the money into lobbying, that make all these different things happen in the country, right? Or at least that's the most talked about members of that group are the tech oligarchs that we now have.
Yep.
Well, this is that, except in
1890s, 1860s,
1860 or whatever. There's not that many groups of people in the most powerful city in the country, New York City, that are making all these big decisions. And what Mr. Russell's whole deal,
1880s.
What's Mr. Russell doing where you're at?
He is he's kind of got he's got two things that he's dealing with right now. Obviously, his wife has been working her lane with the Duke. They need to promise a massive dowry to this man, which is going to cost them quite a bit of money. And when it seemed like the Duke was moving on, Mr. Russell told his right-hand man, well, you take that money and you put it into, I think, needing to buy the mines.
For his railroad
business.
Yeah, so he's actively attempting to build a railroad.
A transcontinental railroad.
Across the country.
Yes.
Which is a thing that happened.
Intercontinental?
And transformed the entire nation as a result.
Yeah.
So like that historical context is really cool. But that's literally one guy going, I'm going to do this thing.
Correct.
Right? It wasn't the government being like, you know what we need is a railroad from coast to coast. Yeah. It was this one super wealthy dude who wanted to become even more super wealthy.
And once again, as we, one of the things that we've called this show, we've taken to calling it, it's like the lowest high stakes, or did I say the highest low stakes or the lowest high stakes?
Low stakes, high stakes is what I remember you saying.
Just low stakes, high stakes.
High stakes, low stakes.
Yeah.
An iteration of that.
But yeah, like the way that, and look, they cover all of their bases. You root for essentially everybody on this show.
Seriously. Maybe one exception.
Right. Like you want, and even they give her like a little, they kind of soften her edge a little bit in the episode that I just watched.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Mrs.
Aunt Agnes's lady's maid.
The racist one.
Yeah, the racist one. Why is her name slipping in my mind? But yeah, so even her, they're like, you're kind of like, yeah.
Armstrong.
So
maybe there's hope for Armstrong yet. Maybe she's got a good heart.
They've got you cheering for everybody. So like when Mr. Russell, who is a robber baron, he will crush the little guy. We know that he's got a heart, but he will still crush the little guy when he needs to. And when his secretary, when his right-hand guy is like, you're betting more than you've got, you're like, oh no, not Mr. Russell's fortune.
He's gonna lose it all.
No.
I know, dude. It's crazy. Modern day, if it was like, oh, Zuckerberg bet too big and he might lose it all, I'd be like, good, fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly.
You know?
So it's real. Like they kind of let you just be happy with everybody from the top to the bottom.
It's kind of the genius of it.
And it's kind of the genius of the show. The other thing that I wanted to touch on, just as far as low stakes, high stakes goes, is I'm very curious because I've heard more kind of buzz about the season 3 finale. I'm curious how it will shape up compared to the season 1 and season 2 finale, because season 2 ended and like we got to the last episode and I was like, oh man, how are they going to untangle this web? Because Marion had committed herself to cousin Dashiell.
Oh, right.
And
I forgot about that guy.
And Aunt Ada had gotten herself married to the Reverend Luke.
Right.
And then Oscar Van Ryn had torched all of his mom's money. The whole thing.
Her entire fortune.
Her entire fortune.
They got scammed.
They got scammed. Yes.
Out of everything.
And I was like, oh, God, what is going to happen? How is she going to get out of this engagement? Is Aunt Agnes going to really have to move, up to the Upper West Side or something? God forbid. And then, Marion's just like, cousin Dashiell, I can't marry you. And he's like, dang, okay. Aunt Ada's husband, who was awesome and we loved him and they had a great relationship for 4 episodes, he just dies and, oh, guess what? Was super loaded. Boom. Problem solved.
Surprise.
And I don't even care that they just come up with like, they kind of build, and you're like, how are they going to do this? And then the way they do it is just by having everything be as convenient as possible and very easy to just like put a bow on and be like, doop, doop, doop.
And
next.
Somehow at no point was I like, this is so unbelievable. Like, and to be frank, in part because this does seem to be a thing with wealthy people.
Sure. Did they just kind of like
no matter
trip
how
into
hard they fall, they somehow trip into another situation where they're fine. And it's easier to do that when you have a ton of money and a ton of connections. But the way it happens in this show is just like blind luck.
Yes.
She just happened to marry a reverend who at no point mentioned anything about his family fortune. And then after he tragically passes away, what does she get, like a letter or something? Or his lawyer shows up?
The executor of the will.
And suddenly everything in the Van Ryn household is fine.
It's fine again, yeah.
You know, that was completely crazy, yeah.
So
this is not like that. Okay. I'll just tell you this in advance.
Yeah.
Like,
well, so the as far as rooting for everybody goes, I think the interesting turn here for season 3 is that through the first 2 seasons, Bertha Russell, the Carrie Coon, the Carrie Coon character, is brash and feisty, but an underdog.
Right.
And so you are rooting for her to break down these barriers so that she can also be a part of society, because why wouldn't they let her? Like there's them shutting her out seems very unfair. She's made it. They built their fortune. Like now let her play the game. Right. And so you very much are, she is positioned to be an empathetic or a sympathetic character that you want to make it. And in season 3, she is top dog. She is the queen of the castle.
She made it. Yeah.
She made it. She
took over.
She took over. She won the opera battle. She's got this Duke setup thing happening. Like she is winning and winning and winning and winning. And you know that's a different vibe from her now. She's kind of a dictator. She's a little less fun to cheer for.
Yeah, the snobbiness seeps through more.
Right. She's very controlling of her children's love lives, which I expect to play out with the Larry and Marion story in the back half of the season as well. So that's been an interesting, just kind of like change up. I think is that Bertha Russell is no longer a character that you're necessarily like 100% rooting for. You kind of want her to maybe take an L.
Like chill out, lady.
Yeah.
The marriage thing that she's trying to set up between her daughter and this Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I've obviously watched shows before and been privy to stories and read books with arranged marriages, right? And that concept, I guess it would be fair to say, doesn't exist anymore. It probably does in some regard in some layers of our society.
Like in America?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but for the most part,
less so. Yeah,
that's not a thing as much anymore. And this is the first time I've ever watched a show that has a storyline that focuses on that idea, and I'm super intrigued by it because, like, I'm hoping I'm not spoiling anything for you here, but like, Mrs. Russell is having to explain to her daughter like why this is a good thing for her. Right. She's having to sell her on it.
Yes.
And there's some conflict in the home because obviously the daughter wants to marry for love, and she has like this other guy that she's interested in or some shit.
Yeah, poor Billy Carlton's ass is out there just like, nah.
Billy Carlton,
I'm out.
Yeah, and her mom's pitch is basically like, love doesn't matter if you are not a good fit.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that. Like, there's pieces of the arranged marriage side of it that I'm like, you know what? I actually kind of get this now. It obviously is an archaic, function that has mostly gone for a reason. But there's just something about, like, when I was young, when I was in high school or middle school or whatever, and you have this like Disneyification idea of love and marriage, and then you grow up and you realize it's something very different than you thought it was. And for somebody who's been through one marriage that ended in a divorce, like, it really changes your perspective on the whole thing.
Sure.
And that is one of the most fascinating elements of this show to me now that it's playing with in season 3, is this idea that like you could form a marriage with another human being based on basically your combined potential, like what you both bring to the table, and then you go from there and you build love out of that. Right? Which you could argue, and again, it's very situational, but like you could end up with a stronger thing as a result of that than just getting married to somebody because you were in the honeymoon phase of love.
Yeah.
Right? So I've never had a show or book or any story pitch it to me in a way where I was like, oh, never mind. I sort of am. It's not like I'm gung-ho. We should bring this back. I'm just saying, like, I get it. I get what they were going for there.
I think it's one of many areas of life where like the right answer is somewhere in between, right?
Yeah.
But yes, it's definitely playing with the idea that I think you learn more and more as you get older, that marriage isn't just about I love you, I can't live without you.
Yeah.
It is about fostering like a partnership that you choose every single day and like building a life with another person, right? So it's
like founding a business with someone.
Yeah.
That's a lot. In legally, that is literally what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's fascinating to see that version. And this is obviously a super rich, wealthy, very glamorized iteration of that. But that has been one of my favorite things about season 3, on the whole.
Well, I think the another piece of the specific version of it that we're seeing on screen kind of ties into what you were saying a second ago about the differences between like European and American class, where like, so the way that society was working kind of pre-new money in New York felt very much like the way I sort of understand society at large in a place like the UK, where like if you're a duke or a duchess or whatever, like you might not have that much money, but you have all of the trappings anyway. Like and maybe you just are able to write checks because of an estate that still is in your family. But there's a good chance you're not like super liquid. You're not a cajillionaire. You're not like raking in the dough.
Yeah, for a lot of them, all their money is tied up in their estates.
But you still have the status and the class, and it's kind of like that is sort of what Aunt Agnes wanted to hold on to in New York society, is that being somebody was about being somebody, not about money, which is why you couldn't buy your way in.
It was not what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. And so that's like, for the Duke, right? Like that's exactly what he's dealing with, is that he is a Duke that is not in line for the crown or anything like that. He's a cousin.
His estate has fallen into disarray.
His state has fallen into disarray. He is not super liquid and wealthy with cash assets. And so what he has is this incredible standing and status, especially in the UK, but not the actual money to do anything with that.
I would argue his status is probably higher in the States.
Okay, that's also fair.
Because they view him as like this celebrity of the old world, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, he's just a broke duke.
Right.
And there's lots of dukes.
But that's, and we still have a concept of old money and new money in American society.
Oh, most definitely.
But those walls have largely been torn down. You know what I mean? Like,
well, real old money still does not mess with new money, but it is easier to bridge that gap than I think it's ever been.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Russells are this new money, and they are going to provide that. They are kind of coming together like two puzzle pieces. One has true old world status, and the other has like the money to kind of back it up.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the show deals with a lot of stigmas too, some of which are still very prevalent or relevant, some of which you're just seeing how they dissipate, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because again, we took all these sort of class functions from the old world,
mm-hmm.
brought them to America, at least people with money did, and you're seeing the way things are changing, right? Like, trying to think of a good example that wouldn't be a spoiler for you, but even stuff like, there's some of the race stuff they get into for sure.
I mean, the Peggy side of things is also really, really interesting to watch play out. Like right now, they are also dealing with a sort of a matchmaking issue where the man, the doctor that Peggy is potentially interested in as a husband, basically has a racist family. Like, you know what I mean?
No, very much so. Or a classist family.
It's certainly a classist family, but
if nothing else, incredibly judgmental mother. That's what she's dealing with.
Who is worried about the skin tone of her own black grandchildren, right? Which the Scots, obviously like have this major bristle in reaction to. And so
because Mr. Scott was a former slave, right?
Was a former slave, and they look down upon that. Absolutely,
right.
So
perfect example.
That's been it's awesome how they are able to tell all of these different stories. Like I said, some stuff which you may feel familiar with, others which you may not. And so that's I love this show.
Dude, it's so well done. It's truly so good, and I'm so glad that it's done so well and continued to find success so that we don't have to worry about it being canceled. Because, like I said, after seasons 1 and 2, I was like, this shit is just prime for cancellation.
Props to you for being early on this thing. You know what I mean?
Just pure luck, dude.
You're just a day oneer on Gilded Age.
Honestly, my wife probably deserves all the credit for that one. Okay. I don't think that was like a one that I pushed hard for. I was like, yeah, we can give this a shot. Downton Abbey was fine.
I do. I kind of gave them shouts already, but Christine Baranski and Cynthia Nixon as Aunt Agnes and Aunt Ada are also just unbelievable on this show. Like, you wouldn't think. I don't think any kind of. Well, I don't know who would find this interesting, but certainly not 30-year-old, 35-year-old white dudes. Like, yeah, I'm gonna like these two 50-year-old broads just bickering in their house as single middle-aged women, and it's so good.
It's so good, man.
I love watching them. They're both so good in those roles. Yeah,
they had 4 straight weeks through the penultimate, so episode 7 of this season. 4 straight weeks where they hit record ratings highs.
Wow.
And I'm assuming that happened again on Sunday with the season finale. You have to assume.
Yeah.
So it basically caught fire for them, and it worked. And they're also doing a good job of pumping out behind-the-scenes footage of Carrie Coon dressed in her full Mrs. Russell garb, doing like absurd dances, like modern dances and shit. The cast seems like they have a really, really fun time together. It is one hell of an ensemble cast, so this is a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Very complicated show for as low stakes, high stakes as it is. Like, they're just it's a big ass cast.
Yeah.
And it's a complicated set, and that is, I think you're absolutely right. They probably have to shave down these seasons because they need to accommodate, like, the look of it all and the feel of it all is so important for this show.
It is.
And they cannot lose that or blow that because they go with a lower budget.
Yep.
So they have to be able to direct as much money as possible that way. So I get it. And I'm not really complaining when I say the season finale felt there was a few moments where I was just like, whoa, slow down. What? Whoa. I think every season of this show has elevated itself, which is always a tell for something truly great.
Yep.
Like, it's one thing to crank out a great season 1. And Westworld is always the example that I use. But it's like, can you follow up on that? Do you have more to say? Do you know where you're going with this? And this show clearly knows, as you will find when you watch the season 3 finale. Like, they set the whole board up for next season. You know a lot of what you're going to be dealing with. There's no mystery. And it gets you hyped. You're like, shit, I can't believe I got to wait another, God, I hope it's not 2 years, but a while before I get to watch this show and spend time with these people again. Because like you said, rare to get a show where you root for everyone like this.
Right.
Like, some of the best shows of all time, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad. You're watching and you're like, God, these people are all monsters. Yeah. It's still a great show, but like it's harder to find people, like, you really want good things to happen to these characters. Like,
I mean, even Succession, which is
absolutely,
has a few kind of common threads with this show, is like largely about bad people.
Very much so.
And they don't really do that to the characters on this show, even though maybe they were, or maybe,
It's hard to tell. They really blur those lines, man. Like you said, I'm sitting there like, not his fortune. Save Mr. Russell. God, please, don't let it happen to him.
Oh, man. Yeah, and let's bring back doctors prescribing vacations. Right? Let's go.
Yeah, what happened
Let's
there?
go convalesce by the sea, Ross.
How did we lose that?
Yeah.
Been years since a doctor told me anything good. Much less that I should take time off. All right, well, hopefully you're caught up with the Gilded Age by next week.
I'm going to do my absolute best to finish season 3 so that we can kind of cover it in some broad strokes next week.
We'll also be doing episode 4 of The Wire,
season 1.
On Monday. Very excited for that. I watched it last night.
Okay.
Great episode, Barrett.
Yeah. I saw some comments that were not spoiler, did not have spoilers in it, but that indicated it might be a good episode.
more classic scenes.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw my wife under the bus here. Lexi, last night after we finished, she was like, I don't feel like a lot happened in that one. And I turned to her and I was like, are you kidding me? And then I gave her a bullet point breakdown of like 5 huge things that happened. And she was like, okay, dude, Jesus, chill out.
It's okay. Women love it when you mansplain The Wire.
They do. They let her, but I could tell she was just incredibly turned on by the end of my explanation. But yeah, excited to talk The Wire, season 1, episode 4 on Monday. We'll be back midweek to talk about hopefully Barrett having finished the Gilded Age, and if not, then we'll dig up some other things to discuss.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe you'll tune into some Alien Earth.
Yeah, no, definitely. I will have watched episode 1 by then, for sure. Love y'all. Thanks for being here with us. We appreciate you. Go to patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles today and subscribe. Start watching The Wire with us. You need to do it. If you watch The Sopranos with us, you know how much fun we have doing this episodic coverage of these prestige classics, and that is the exact same thing we are doing with The Wire. It doesn't matter if you've seen it before or not. Come ride with us through The Wire Season 1 on patreon.com/oysters, clams, cockles. Support our sponsors. Today we had Factor, factormeals.com/OCC50 off. Link and details in the description of this episode. Follow Barrett at Barrett Dudley on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at WR Bolin. You can follow Oysters, Clams, and Cockles on all the social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Threads. If you listen to our show and wish you were watching it, go to youtube.com/@oysters, clams, cockles. And also, if you're a Spotify listener, we will actually have video capabilities starting next week. So all of our episodes on Spotify will be video. However, you will have the option to switch to audio only if you do not wish to partake in the viewing of Barrett and I's faces. But some of y'all have been listening for 9 years and still don't know what we look like, so you need to get your life together. I don't know how that's possible. Until next time, remember, money be green.